You can't predict what's going to happen on the streets. It can be a whole host of different things that draws my eye. It can be a really striking person walks out of nowhere, or a pigeon or a flock of birds suddenly flying overhead. You can predict certain elements, but you can never be 100% sure. And the best you can do really is to preempt and almost fantasize or imagine what could happen in the space in front of you. And the closer that happens in reality, the more exciting it is. That's kind of what we all chase, I think. Those moments that kind of sum up our vision and how we see the world. I'm Alan Schaller, and I'm a photographer. Cities are incredible places. It's like a conveyor belt of interesting subject matter and superb environments to photograph in. But they're hugely overwhelming. There's so much going on. When I started, I just thought, how am I going to make anything out of this? I find it helps me to limit myself, whether it's using a single focal length or selecting a single location, to cut down the randomness that you can feel in the chaos of a big city. Well, I first picked up a camera 4 years ago, but I've been creative from a very young age. I studied music at university and went into writing music for television and films. Eventually I felt like I needed a break from music in the sense that it was my whole life and I just needed a hobby. And there was a girl who I was interested in who was into photography, and she was the first person who told me about street photography. She showed me the ropes. Seeing street photography made me look at the world in a different way, and it kind of clicked that there are extraordinary things happening all the time, all around us. It resonated with me in many ways. The thing that separates photographers, I think, is the thought that goes into the pictures. Music and photography are both storytelling art forms. I think my background in music helped me understand the importance in narrative in photography. I feel like the storyteller part of my brain was developed already. It's the storytelling part that goes into my work that makes it my own. Expression and emotion have always been really important to me in the pictures. My pictures over time have become less about being able to see the person's actual expression and more about seeing them in the context of the environment they're in, using an actual space to convey a mood rather than just a face. I guess it's a more metaphorical way of looking at a city or a scene. I still think it conveys just as much emotion. For me, capturing an image that can't be reproduced is kind of the essence of street photography. You can't go back and shoot it again, and to have grabbed that shot at the right time, it's hugely satisfying. Of course, not getting the shot you want happens all the time. Just because you've identified a scene and you've put yourself in the right place, you still might miss it. Sometimes you're just not in the right headspace. Some days you just don't get anything. That's okay. The real love of it is immersing yourself in what you're doing and it taking you away from whatever problems you have. It's just a time to put that aside and focus on the moment. You know, it's about being present. One of the most exciting things about street photography is waking up every day and not knowing what you're going to come back with. So that's the magic.